Hello everyone, I'm Woko and welcome to Wokolandia. And it is finally time to make another step in this big journey. And for who watched the series for the first time here, I basically made 2 Great Unclean One from a single Warhammer kit. And now it's time to create the second base, because obviously in a normal kit you can make only one miniature with a different customizable part, but only one miniature with only one base. Also, I have already prepared some Nurgling character, and I wanna make this base a little diorama for this free Nurgling plus the Great Unclean One. Also, another cool thing to say is that the Nurgle symbol, the chaos god of pestilence and decay, is made from free circle or skull or sphere, etc, etc. And those free Nurgling on circular base are perfect for include this iconology in this base. And first I need a support for build this diorama, and this Xbox game is perfect for the occasion. I really don't like this soccer game, and this one is old, is boring, and is the perfect sacrifice for the god Nurgle. On this base, because it's the base for the base, I use Fimo for create the texture and build my little diorama. And is a little bit like make a very small pizza. And this process is quite simple, nothing special. I smooth and stretch the Fimo and I apply the Fimo on the Xbox game. And after that I use the original base for have the right dimension. In this way I'm able to have the same, quite same is not perfect, but a same circle on the right size, because the CD or DVD, I don't know what Xbox use actually, is a little bit smaller. And with this process you can make every type of base for your miniature, and is very cool and useful. The final surface is not perfect and smooth, but at the last you cover this base with sand, little rocks and other stuff. Also, using Fimo you can mold and sculpt different heights. But for this little diorama I have something else in mind. The idea is recreate the Nurgle symbol, pressing this little Nurgling and those round base for create this free circle, and on the top, like you see, place the Great Unclean One. In this way I have room for the Great Unclean One and for the free little Nurgling, that like you see they become I don't know, part of this diorama. And you can remove the Nurgling and use the miniature like normal unit, leaving the Nurgle symbol visible on the base. And this Nurgle symbol is made from free pool of acid, and for do that I remove the Fimo creating a hole on the base. Also in this way I have the perfect spot for place the Nurgling miniature. And after that there is not much to say about this process. It is very simple, and you can use this technique for your diorama or your miniature base. And before leave you to the rest of the video, remember that like, share and subscribe is the best way for support the channel and is completely free. And back on the video, I start making some decoration, some arcane symbol or divine symbol, I don't know, some weird stuff. Well, I ate waste material, and waiting for the Fimo wire to dry, I use the excess Fimo wire for create little sphere and some rocks. This is a very good way for recycling stuff and have more material for your new project or diorama. And now that the Fimo wire is dry, you can see the final result. You have a strong base with the free spot for place the Nurgling, and now it's time to decorate the base and make the stuff more realistic and gross. And like every single base I made, I use a lot of PVA glue and after that some sand. But like you see, I don't cover the entire surface of the base because I leave without sand the place for the Great Unclean One and the free pool of acid. In this way I'm able to make fit well the Great Unclean One on the spot, and for the free pool of acid I have another type of technique I want to use. And after some hour waiting for the sand to stick in place, remove the excess material and it's finally time to prime. Black primer and some brown acrylic mixed with PVA glue. In this way I'm able to apply another layer of glue for make sure that this sand stick in place. Also the result is something like mud and is perfect for this type of terrain. I like it a lot. And now it's time to make some cool pool of acid, and like you see I use some white primer and some simple green acrylic spray can. Waiting for this spray to dry, it's time to make some fancy sculpt for our base. And this process is super simple. I select some skull from this skull kit from Games Workshop, and after that I smooth all the mold line. Also because I want that some skull is sink in the acid, I cut some skull for make them float on the top of the green pool, creating the illusion that this skull is slowly melt in the acid. After that I use some double side tape. I don't know the correct name of this stuff. For place more skull I can on this stick. And like someone already let me know, I need to use some tool for pick up this little thing. But anyway, after place the skull on the stick, it's time to use some white primer, and after that use this super cool speed paint pale bond. And with a simple thick layer of paint you have an amazing result. The speed paint or contrast paint for Games Workshop is like a very thick wash. This paint go in the crevices creating light and shadow and does the entire work for you. And now it's time to place some skulls around the base. Obviously the nearly melt skulls go on top of the pool of acid and the other one on the terrain. And after some combination I decide to make another Nurgle symbol on one of the pool of acid with free skull, trying to constantly remember the vibe of this diorama. And after I'm pleased with the composition, I glue the stuff in place and it's time for a new technique. Something who will make those pool of acid pop and really cool. The first step is use some fluorescent yellow for make this boring green very gross, and also glowing on UV light. I simply spread the paint, trying to not color this skull. And also I make some weird pattern around the different skull on the base. After that I start using some gloss varnish for make all this stuff very slimy. And after all this preparation is finally time to use UV resin for make those green circle very gross, quite realistic actually, and make the skull sink in the acid. It's the first time I use the UV resin and is a little bit a gamble, but I always wanna try stuff like that, and the free pool of acid are something perfect for this try, and also is quite simple actually. After place a good amount of resin, not too much for cover the entire skulls, but at least for give you an idea of depth. And after that I use some UV LD light, and this project is finally finished. Now the black trim around the base and some makeup powder for make this terrain a little bit dusty. Like always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like this content, like, share and subscribe is the best way for support the channel and is completely free. And if you have some question, comment down below. And now it's time to show you my little Nurgle diorama, or my Great Unclean One base if you like.